Alrighty then, folks. As you can see here, I'm going to change the gear oil in these Planetary gears. At least that's the plan. On the first, I got these loosened, but not loosened. If you can tell on this one, he put some sort of compound in there. I had to scrape it out in order to get these loose. And then on top of that, I had to use this breaker bar right here just to get these kind of... Oh, I still can't even get it. Basically, that's how I did that. And this one right here, I kind of had to, how do you say, I had to pound it in there. What's going on here? Well, there's a little bit of metal particles on there. Not a whole lot. There definitely is some though. When we bought this thing had like some new paint on it, looked like. He probably just painted it and didn't even change the fluid. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. That's never a good sign, guys. That right there is never a good sign. That means it must have leaked out all the fluid. Well, it's definitely in order to take this off now. We're gonna have to check out these gears. It's the right thing to do. Oh, dang it. This guy, the guy that I bought this from, I hope he's ashamed of himself. Because honestly, I'd be ashamed of myself if I sold this to a young guy like me who was, you know, just starting out in the industry. This is just ridiculous, guys. This is why you never buy used equipment, because people will scam you. This guy was a con artist. He said he resealed them. What kind of con artist does that? He just threw some paint on it and then just sold it. We're gonna have to get the impact gun out and take that off. That is never a good sign. No oil in the gear, in the Planetary gear. I noticed it was kind of loud. Seemed like it was making noise. Not like a ton of noise, but it was making noise. This is why people sell equipment, guys. You think dump trucks are any different? They're really not. As soon as there's something majorly wrong with it, instead of fixing it, they go and sell it. That's the name of the game, guys. They just never keep up on maintenance. Anybody in the excavator business or dirt work business, they're lazy, they're no good, and they're rotten people. And they will screw you over just as soon as they will look at you. So when you're looking at an excavator, take one of the plugs out. Take one of the plugs out of these, of each side, and just look in there. You don't have to take the bottom one out. Just at least take something out and dip your finger in there, or, you know, a piece of plastic or something. Dip something in there so you can at least see, right? Because people will take advantage of you. Time to go get a bigger hammer. Well, the good thing is everything nothing looks horrible. That always makes you wonder, you know, what's it gonna look like when I crack the thing open? Okay, nothing looks horrible in there. Thank goodness. Maybe, you know, he had it replaced in the shop that did it. Let's do this. Oh, great. Stupid plastic thing flew off in there. Never had that happen before. Well, at least there ain't no metal flakes metal chunks coming out of here. Maybe it was just rebuilt, he just never filled it. That just doesn't make any sense. Like, what if maybe he just forgot to fill it up or something? I don't know. The gears look great though. It doesn't make any sense to me. I need to get this plastic thing out of here. There we go. The plastic thing shut off in there. Never had that happen before. Like, what the heck? What was he thinking? So now I've done a little bit of research. Sometimes people fill these with grease. Sometimes they fill them with oil. What's your guys' opinion? What's the best thing to fill it with? I think I'm just gonna fill mine with oil. Because honestly, filling it with grease would be cool, but like, honestly, don't know how to fill it with grease, like an efficient way, you know, like without taking 10 years is kind of what I'm getting at. And this is why you do exactly as J-Bo says. Change all the fluids immediately as soon as you get it. Because imagine if I would have just left this for another, I don't know, 1,000 hours, or, you know, who knows. Could have left this for a long time without even dressing it. Because how often do people ever change this, you know? Good thing is there's no real metal flakes or nothing in there. That's a good thing. So it's just kind of dirty. So what we'll do is we'll get our Scotch-Brite pad and we'll clean this up. And I can't believe it was empty. RTB gasket sealant. We've got our Scotch-Brite and our wire brush. Now we're gonna have to spray it too. this brake cleaner, look, it took that gasket right up in a second. Look at that. That was cool. Okay, so we got everything as clean as possible with the brake clean. So now the next step is we're gonna put some of this RTV gasket on this right here. The thing a lot of people do is they put too much of this stuff on there. You really don't have to go insane with it, right? But what you do have to do is you have to spread it out nice. Spread it out really nice, right? Some people just go insane with this stuff and you have like boogers hanging off the side of it, right? You really don't need to go that insane. But what you do need is a nice even coat. The most important part is this ring though, the very inside of the ring. That's where you're getting your seal, so you want to make sure you got a nice even coat around that, right? Try to wipe off the extra stuff, that way it's not getting everywhere. Awesome. Smooth it out nice and even. Okay. And then something I like to do is I like to put it on there and then wiggle it around a little bit. That way I know I'm getting a good solid seal all the way around it. See, so you just put it on and then you just wiggle it, right? That way you know you're getting a good coat all the way around. And the way you want to tighten these up, you don't want to just go in a circle. You want to go kind of crisscross.
You want to get them all on there first though. Get them all on there, and then go with the crisscross tightening pattern.
Yeah, see, he painted this cap, but there wasn't even any fluid in there. Like, come on, dude. If you're gonna take the time to paint it, at least change it. At least take the time to put fluid in there. And there was no signs of leaks, so there's no way it leaked out of there. There's no possible way it leaked out of there in the time that I owned it and bought it, because there was literally no oil leaks anywhere on the thing. So either he didn't know it was empty, or maybe he took it to a shop. This is what I want to think, right? I want to think the guy was a decent guy. Maybe he took it to a shop and they were rushing, and then they, not rushing, but maybe they were rushing the job and they spaced on the oil. I mean, that's the only thing I can really think of, like, to give this guy the benefit of the doubt. Because, come on, like, there's no way he forgot to put oil in there. There's just no way. Maybe one of his workers or something forgot or something. Maybe he was like, oh, it's got to be on a job. Hurry, hurry, hurry. We'll put oil in it later or something. And then they forgot. Or, I mean, come on. How hard is it to take one of those plugs out and just fill it up? I don't understand it. So, in my head, it just doesn't compute, really. It just does not compute, really. So what I like to do is, I like to get them all about the same snugness. Okay, they're all tight. Now, another thing he did, he probably gooped this thing up so bad with gasket sealer. You don't need to really goop it up that much, guys, okay? See, just a little dab of it, that really goes a long ways. Because once you start threading it in and you tighten it down, it doesn't need a ton of sealer on there, okay? Right? Just a little bit of sealer on there is plenty. And you shouldn't have to crank these down so hard that you can't get them undone either. You know what gear oil kind of smells like? It kind of smells like barf. I got a few shirts that smell just like gear oil. Like, as I was filling up a differential or something, and I spilled like a half a gallon on me. Putting pressure on the bottle with my elbow. They say with the grease you don't have to worry about it leaking out because it won't leak out. But then there's some people that say the oil keeps it cooler, which I don't know if that's really the case. Okay, let's get some air in here. Looks like I think I can see the fluid. Oh yeah, I can feel it. Okay. I can at least touch it with my pinky now. That's good enough for me. My pinky only reaches down about there. That's good enough for me. Okay, let's put a little bit of gasket sealer on this bad boy and thread it in. That's really all the tighter you need it, guys. You don't really need it super tight. That's all it really needs, guys. Just that beep,